Oh yeah. Welcome to Tiafo Garage. I'm Greg. We are just coming back from a week at Monterey for all of the Car Week events. If you get on it from first to second and you rush it and or don't blip, it will grind.
Crunchy Town.
Yeah.
That was the case with my Testarossa.
Okay.
Cold,
Yes.
but then it would warm up and it'd
And it
be
was okay.
okay.
Yeah. See, I did it too fast, so yeah, it's okay, it happens. So here we have the MTL that I've had in there for 2 years. Here we have some 75W90 NS, NS for no slip. When I researched all this, you get all kinds of answers, so it's really hard to know. I'm going to back out the Porsche here. Because of my situation, I am unable to go for a quick drive because we're doing a remodel here in the house. But I will just back out the Porsche, warm up the Ferrari engine, which should warm the transmission a bit. And then I might drive it back and forth a little bit to try to heat it. Milo, MTL or 75W90 NS? What do you think? I don't know. Either one. Moved up a bit, oil not much. I think it's good enough for what I'm trying to do here. So for this task, you need a 24mm socket for the level plug, 26mm ID copper crush washer, 22mm socket, a washer for each of those. Those are 22mm ID, and then either a 12 or a 10mm hex. Mine is 12, and then you need 1 gallon plus 1 quart of the fluid. As always, safety first. So we'll put our wheel chocks here. Just jack it up with this bottle jack. Take off the back wheel here. And also always back up the jack with a jack stand. Next, we'll take off this inner panel. It's always fun to see the body number written in there. This gives a nice view of what we're up to here. This is the clutch, actually, connected to the engine on the other side. So the rotating energy comes here, and then it gets transferred down with some gears to the transmission, which is kind of below the engine. This is the air filter. The air comes in through the vent there. The fill for the transmission oil is here. And then there's a drain here, and there's a second drain. That's the drain that we just saw from the other view. And then this is the second drain, the main drain. Transmission is in here, and you can see that goes direct to the drive shafts. And then there's a level bolt, which is there, that guy. Next thing I'm gonna do is just lower the car a bit so that it's level. So I'll just lower the jack probably till it's resting on that jack stand back there. So as I mentioned, that is the level plug. So we're gonna take that out. You'll leave it out until you fill it, and when oil starts coming out of there, it's full. It's very important that before you take off anything else, take off that and make sure you can get it off. Otherwise you won't be able to fill it to the right level. When I first got this car, that thing was all boogered up. I'll put in a few images of that process. It was a nightmare. It was shaved down, and I couldn't get it off, and I had to cut it off. And so I'll show the pictures here. But anyway, I did all that and trained it and put in that MTL, and then put in this new bolt, which was only $50. So I don't know why whoever did what they did with the last one went through the effort of machining it down poorly. But anyway, so make sure you take this off first to make sure you can get it off. It is 24mm. It's relatively easy if you've got the right bolt in good shape and the right wrench. And as expected, we'll leave that off. So in the same spirit of making sure you can fill it, the next prudent thing to do is take off the fill plug here on the top. Actually, it's a 19mm. So I need to update the front of the video. So that drain is magnetic, and you can see the little particles, or sludge, not particles, but sludge there. That's a whole lot less than there was the last time I did that, and it's been 2 years, so feeling pretty good about that. Let's see, let's wipe it off with a magnetic paste. Nice and clean, and I will put on a new crush washer. And I'm gonna actually just torque that up, and we'll move on to the next drain. This is the transmission oil, that's the engine oil. I think I have these two plugs swapped, but the thread's the same. So on mine, this is 12mm, and that's 10. I think this is intended to be 12 because it's done more often. next step is to fill the oil with this pump. And we'll pump the oil into the top, the reservoir there, that bolt that's loose on the top there. We'll keep filling it until oil drips out of that hole. So we filled it to the correct level. So I'm gonna let it sit like this for 5 or 10 minutes. So we got a new crush washer. And there are our used crush washers. And we just need to clean up and put things back together. We'll be good to go here. We're done. That was about 2 hours start to finish. I would love to take the Dino for a little drive right now, but unfortunately I've got a bunch of wood in the way. All right, driveway is clear. So let's take a look at how the Dino drives. So this is my first time. Went into reverse. It goes through the gears fine. It's just been idling here. I'll shift it like I used to here. Well, that went in very easily. The first is fine. I just put it into second without the blip. Well, certainly no harder to put through the gear. Whoops. Okay, going into second when cold, still grinds. Got a little too comfortable. And that was a into second downshift, which I never do. So it was going so nicely through the other gears that I just went for it. I'm gonna let it warm up. I'm deliberately not blipping it through the gears so that I'm kind of testing the synchros. Yeah, that was no problem. The question will be whether the first to second is any less likely to grind when not well matched or not blipped when warm. Okay, downshift with no blipping and no matching. No problem to fifth to fourth. No problem fourth to third. Second, I'm scared to try. Okay, there we go. I went into second. I downshifted to second and it did not grind from third to second. So the Synchro is grabbing more, which is what we want. It is a little more warmed up. The oil needle is now just still at dead cold, I guess, but I know the car's getting warmer. Oh yeah, first to second, without throttle matching, the Synchro did its thing. Definite improvement. So I'll do a first to second, and I won't blip it between. Go pretty high revs. Okay, we got a touch of crunch, but it did go into gear. So you into second while moving. Usually that would be a problem. Third, second, third, second, bit of crunch. Still doesn't like to be rushed. But I have to tell you that is a marked improvement from the MTL. I could essentially not really downshift from third to second before, and now if I do it at a reasonable pace and reasonably matched, it looks like the Synchros are grabbing better. Goes into first while rolling too, which is nice. Wow, downshift into second. Yes, I blipped the throttle, but still, that was not possible before. The new oil is working better than the old oil with respect to engaging the Synchros. Still not perfect. Does require pretty close revs or else it will grind, but I was unable to do second at all before. Hello, Milo. Yes, Milo. Hello. And Milo is happy about that.
Tiafo Garage.